Greetings from fullskillsexamprep.com and welcome to your 5th ICCRC question analysis. My name is Kyle Broda and we're here to help you pass your ICCRC exam. So here we go. Alright, remember that you can find the ICCRC sample questions through the website in case you didn't see the previous videos. All you have to do is follow these instructions here. And of course, even on this page, you should read really everything that's there. They're really great documents for you. Of course, the important one for today, for these 10 videos that we're making for you, are the sample questions, which you clicked on already. These sample questions are helpful for you because they can help you look up the answer. It helps when you see questions because it helps you put the answers and the laws into context. They show you what the questions on the exam will look like, and you can test out your knowledge. However, the ICCRC doesn't provide answers, they don't provide references, and those questions are not updated. However, all of our books, all of our lessons are constantly updated right away. Everything is 2014 now. Every time there's an update, we put it in right away because your exams are always updated as well. Okay, remember we offer you all of the answers, of course, to the 300 practice questions that we have. We give you all the corresponding references, just like we do in these videos. And, of course, we have a lot of happy clients, and we hope that you will be one of them as well. Okay, let's take a look at this one here. This is a big, long question, which happens in the exams sometimes. I'll read it to you in case you can't see it. Mr. Murr owns a jewelry company in Dubai with 55 employees, 3 sub-offices in London, Beirut, and Singapore. Mr. Murr and his family were accepted as permanent residents under the investor program. After they had been in Canada for 8 months, Mr. Murr decided he could not start a successful business in Canada, and he decided to return to Dubai, leaving his family in Canada. Before leaving, however, he opened an import-export office in Vancouver, MTCD Incorporated, under the law of Canada. MTCD Incorporated is a separate entity from his 4 other businesses. He hired 1 full-time assistant manager for the company and gave himself the position of international coordinator, in addition to his position as managing director. All the new company's transactions, including Mr. Murr's salary and allowances, were declared on the MTCD Incorporated returns and on Mr. Murr's income declaration submitted to Revenue Canada. Is Mr. Murr complying with the residency requirements? Okay, we have some potential answers here. So we have A, yes, because he is the managing director of a Canadian business incorporated under the law of Canada. We have B, no, because he returned to his place of residence before immigrating to Canada. C, yes, because he created a new business, a new job for 1 Canadian citizen, and a job for himself. D, no, because he created the business to keep the status of a permanent resident. Okay, I'll give you a minute, same as usual. See if you can figure out the answer on your own, and then we'll take a look at, we'll analyze everything together. Okay, let's take a look at the important parts of this question here. Usually in these big, long stories, sometimes there will be some parts that aren't really useful for you, but this one, everything is pretty important. Okay, so we'll take a look at his, the majority of his business. So it's in other places, it's not in Canada. Alright, so he came here as an investor, and then the sponsor left. So he left after 8 months because he decided he cannot start a successful business here in Canada. Okay, before he left though, he opened up a business. So you can see that he has a business in Canada which might meet the residency requirements then, but we'll analyze this and see if he actually meets the requirements. So if you look at page 24 of your test day data book, you can see we have a section on investors over there. Okay, in this question there are a lot of different angles to look at as well. So we can take a look and see if he is meeting the residency obligation. Remember, everything's the same, right? He has to be there for 3 years out of 5. Okay, so he has to be either physically present in Canada, as you can see in IRPA Article 28, outside Canada, accompanying a Canadian citizen who is his spouse, which is not the case here. Number 3 is important for us, though. Outside Canada, employed on a full-time basis by a Canadian business. So he might meet the qualifications there. You might be thinking that. We'll take a look at the answers, of course, later on. We've got another one, IRPA Article 127, as we saw before. So you cannot communicate directly or indirectly by any means false or misleading information or declarations with intent. Intent is such an important word in all of these exams as well. So you probably have a feeling about the answer already. Let's take a look. You can look at OP 10, section 5.1 as well. Okay, and you can see again, we talk about the intent not to abandon Canada as their place of permanent residence. And if he's outside of Canada working, that's a special circumstance. If he's working for a Canadian company, of course. So this question is, I think this question is actually the most difficult one out of the 10, because there are a lot of different little things in here, and the answers are quite difficult as well. But maybe you have the answer already. Maybe you just have a feeling about the answer, and that's that. All right, so let's take a look through each of these here. For A, do you think A is correct or incorrect? All right, we'll take a look. Oops, pardon me, B. So, no, because he returned to his place of residence before immigrating to Canada. With regard to the question, is Mr. Merck complying with the residency requirements? So we have, no, his 3 years, I should say 3 years of 5 starts when he lands. Okay, so they said he landed and he's been here for 8 months, so B is obviously incorrect. Let's take a look at C. Is he complying with the residency requirements? Yes, because he created a new business, a new job for one Canadian, and a job for himself. Okay, they're trying to confuse you by putting him into the entrepreneur class when he came under investor program. So investor program doesn't have any requirements like that. You don't have to start a company here. You don't have to hire employees or anything like that. But entrepreneurs do. So this one is obviously incorrect because he came here as an investor, not as an entrepreneur. Okay, for A and D are pretty difficult ones. But we have, is he complying with the residency requirement? Yes, because he's the managing director of Canadian business incorporated under the law of Canada. And yes, he's overseas, maybe on behalf of a Canadian company, though he has his other businesses as well. This isn't his main business. The key to this, the reason why the answer is D, as we'll see, and not A, is because of his intent. So in the story we can see that he decided to leave because he cannot start a business in Canada, so he decided to return to Dubai. His intention isn't to live in Canada and start a business and live and all that stuff. His intention is to live in Dubai and maybe just keep his permanent residence status. So even though with D we can't really assume that he started that business just to keep his status of permanent residency, we can see that the intent, or his intentions, aren't to live in Canada. So when we look at the goals of the investor program, it's not to have people come here for 8 months and then leave. It's to have people here who want to live here and not just start a quick little company to keep his residency status. So that's why D is the correct answer. You might be wondering why they even have investor program. In our practice materials we have a few questions about the investor program as well. because there are still questions on the exam about investors, since the program itself, the immigration program for investors, is suspended. It's not cancelled. Once it's cancelled, we'll probably never hear about it again, but it is only suspended right now. So it's important for you to study that as well. Okay, on behalf of myself and Lisette, again, a big thank you for letting us help you pass your exam. Be sure to like us on Facebook, and you can email us. And of course, check out our website because we have a lot more free information over there. Okay, thanks. Have a beautiful day.